What is up, my spooky sluts? I am so excited to be once again taking y'all Halloween hunting with me, this time for the month of September. I'm also doing things a little bit differently this month because I was just so sick of all of the big box stores and seeing the same thing everywhere that this month I'm actually exclusively showing you guys secondhand and small businesses. Now, I know that might kill the appeal for some of you because a lot of people like seeing footage to be able to like plan their own purchases and things, but I also know plenty of people, myself included, who just enjoy the overall Halloween vibes of Halloween hunting. So hopefully enough of you won't mind the fact that these aren't necessarily products that you're going to be able to replicate for yourself. But I really just wanted to encourage y'all to get out there, and if you're going to be making Halloween purchases, definitely consider secondhand or small businesses in place of the big box stores for certain pieces. Like, that'll give you the chance to find things that are more unique, or maybe things that are a little bit cheaper than you would find elsewhere. Depending on where you go, you can also find more expensive stuff, unfortunately, because a lot of places do mark things up. But I think it's so important to be able to feature and focus on alternative options as well, especially for people who are trying to like avoid the big box stores these days. I got you. As a little bit of location context, I am based out of Southern California, and more specifically San Diego County. So all of the locations we are going to be featuring in this video are featured in that general vein. But without further ado, let's get to the Halloween hunting. So first up, I actually have a couple of goodies to show you guys that aren't specifically tied to a location, because these were actually gifts. I was in a horror movie, and the world premiere was in September, so my friend Kathleen actually, was moving and literally extended her move date so she could go to the premiere, which is such a fucking homey move. I mean, she's literally like one of my best friends in the entire world, so makes sense. But she also got me like congratulatory gifts, which was just so fucking sweet. So she actually got me this little Jack Skellington mug that says Master of Fright on it. And I went ahead and put this little like rose in it, which is ironically a rose that Kathleen had gotten me for one of my birthdays like many years ago. Because I thought it would be a cute little like kind of vase display. Because like as cute as a mug as it is, it's not like the ideal shape for holding, so I thought that would be a perfect little piece to put on one of my shelves. And she also got me this little Beetlejuice Squishmallow, which is very fun, very cute. It's actually the first Squishmallow that I've ever owned, which is nice because like I love their texture. So I got my little squishy guy. But now jumping into real locations and footage of places that you can see, I popped into the Ramona Food and Clothes Closet, which is a thrift store in Ramona. And this is actually my favorite thrift store at the moment. It's definitely like not much to look at, if I'm being honest. Like, it's definitely more of a dingy little hole in the wall spot. But they had set up outside this entire kind of, you know, table setup of a bunch of different Halloween decor. Some of it was actual vintage, some of it was very much like dollar store stuff that people had gotten rid of, and a bit of mid-range stuff as well. And they also had a few like bits and bobs inside the store. Like, they had a whole little section of costumes and things, which I think is fantastic. I love when thrift stores like actually curate sections for costumes and stuff. I definitely think they should have year-round sections of holiday things, but alas, it's typically only when that relevant holiday is coming up, so we'll enjoy it while we can. But I definitely encourage you guys to check out your local thrift stores, because you never know what you're gonna find. Sometimes you find these amazing treasures, sometimes you find a lot of crap, but you won't know unless you look. And then I went to Wynola Junction Antiques and Collectibles in Wynola, California, and This was definitely an interesting spot to check out because it's not necessarily a thrift store. Like, this was an actual antique store, albeit a more chaotic one if I'm being honest, but you can definitely find some interesting stuff sometimes, like this giant life-size Frankenstein's monster, as well as this random frame Wednesday Addams collage. But they also actually had this entire like holiday shop set up outside as like a little separate building, primarily Christmas, but they did in fact have quite a bit of Halloween. Unfortunately, a lot of it was kind of just thrown in totes. So I definitely got my legs dirty and like literally like was kneeling on the ground. Like, I got so dirty. But I did dig through some of the totes just to kind of see what was up. Because my personal like choice of aesthetic for Halloween is like genuine vintage inspired or actual vintage. I love the like black and orange aesthetic and just the old school paper mache type stuff. So I'm always on the lookout for actual vintage pieces or pieces that feel vintage or handmade and just unique. I love feeling like I have one of a kind items, and that like vintage Halloween aesthetic definitely really does it for me. In the totes, they actually had some genuine vintage stuff as well as some more modern stuff. It was also very funny because they had this entire tote full of like Halloween and holiday cards, which I thought was very funny. They had a lot of really beautiful ones. They had a lot of kind of cheesy ones. And it was also very funny because I literally was looking for one for a specific friend of mine. Kathleen, actually, ironically, mentioned her earlier. Since she just moved, I wanted to make sure to send her a little like housewarming Halloween card. And I did manage to find one. I don't have it to show you because I already sent it out, but it was very, very pretty. Black and orange and glittery, and it was very cute. Should have taken a picture, my bad. But I did, before I found that one, I had actually found a different one that was perfect. It literally had like skeleton heart hands on it, and I was like, this is perfect. And then I opened it up and it was literally the one used card in the entire tote that I came across, which was very fucking funny. I actually almost bought it just for the humor of it. I didn't, because again, conscious consumer, but I thought it was very funny that it was pre-used. A little sad, but mostly funny. But as for the goodies that I did manage to pick up, I got this little corn husk witch doll. I'm not exactly sure where, literally there are no tags or anything. She's just this cute little witch. So I have no idea like where she's from, if she's handmade, if she was, you know, I mean, I think either way, whether or not it was like a craft or somebody selling it, like I still think it would have had to have been handmade due to the nature of it. But I just thought she was super cute. I also thought it was very funny because upon getting her home, I realized that like we kind of had the same little hair color just about. So I thought that that was very funny, but I just loved the little, like it just genuinely feels like, you know, an actual like witchy person might have made her. So I thought she was very cute. Didn't mean to drop her. And then I also found this set of little containers that are actual like vintage inspired. Apparently they are made by Greg Goodell for Bethany Lane Designs, which I looked up and actually found Greg Goodell is a very popular holiday artist, and particularly like Christmas and Halloween goods, kind of very similar to Joanna Parker, who is kind of like the niche is the vintage inspired aesthetic. And these are actually older. These are from a quite old collection, so they're not quite vintage, but they are close to it. And I just thought these were so cute. Like literally just they're super cute. They open up. They do have, both of them unfortunately do have some little surface blemishes, but nothing that I can't fix myself, like with a little bit of, you know, additional paper mache or air dry clay. But I just thought that those were so cute, and I was very stoked that they actually had the set. And then I went to the Warm Hearth in Julian. Now, Julian is also ironic. I mean, it's just like 5-10 minutes down the road from Wynola. It's another very tourist town, very quote unquote historic. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it's a little overhyped and overpriced, but a very popular spot for the fall for San Diego County. It's definitely like their tourist season is autumn and Halloween season. But I checked out the Warm Hearth, which ironically originated as like an actual wood and lumber store in the town, but now just serves as this massive gift store. And they definitely had some fun Halloween displays. They had a bunch set up in their indoor section, as well as they have like an outdoor kind of back massive warehouse section that probably originally housed the like lumber and wooden stuff that they sold, but now is just decked out as more of their like outdoor decor type stuff. But they definitely had a ton of goods. Some of them seemed a little bit more original, and some of them definitely seemed like they probably purchased them at discount stores and are reselling them for a little bit higher prices. But unfortunately, that is just the nature of boutique tourist town stores. They even had this kind of like little nook setup of, you know, kind of spooky books and things. It was actually kind of fun. They had this little like chair set up and they had it all like spooky and done, but the books that they had nearby were like about San Diego history and like cemeteries and different stuff. So I did like the attention to detail there. And then I popped into the Salvation Army in Poway. And usually they actually have a whole section of Halloween stuff year round. It typically is Christmas dominating, but in past Halloween hunting videos I've actually featured it and they had a decent amount of Halloween stuff. They were pretty cleared out at this point in time, so only a little bit to report there, because they actually had in their like front desk, they had displays of Halloween stuff. So that was probably most of the Halloween stuff that they just like had. They tried to make their displays, which like is cute for the aesthetic, but also makes it very inaccessible to look at these items. Like I had to hang around the store so long for it to have a lull in checking people out so I could like get this footage, because literally it's like the front cashier. You can't really, you know, go up to the glass looking and like be in other people's way of like making their purchases and checking out. So definitely not the most accessible way to display products, but it was cute to have those, you know, little front displays. And then I checked out the Goodwill in Ramona, and they surprisingly had a ton of stuff. Like an entire quarter of the store, like the whole front corner, was dedicated to Halloween, be it, you know, actual home decor and wall display stuff, costumes galore, accessories, and just little bits and bobs. They had so much stuff, including this gorgeous, amazing disco ball designed like ghost face mask that unfortunately was way overpriced. Like the one thing that I noticed, they had a ton of stuff that was like brand new with tags that had, and a lot of duplicates of stuff. So it had to be like overstock stuff from other places and like dead stock stuff, but way overpriced. Like the ghost face mask was priced at retail $24.99, which is literally what you could buy it for brand new from Spirit Halloween. So did not end up purchasing this, but I'm gonna be so real with you guys. I did actually like a week later go back trying to buy it because I kept thinking about the stupid mask. And so I looked it up online, and like, yes, I could buy it retail $24.99, but unfortunately it's not one that's being sold in stores at my local Spirit Halloween. So I would then have to pay extra for shipping to buy it brand new. So I was like, well, I'll pay the retail price and not have to pay shipping, and then also get it secondhand, so it's saving stuff from landfill, blah, 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 blah. And they didn't have it anymore. And they had multiples of these. They had at least 2 of these ghost face masks, if not more. And by the time I went back, they didn't have any, which was unbelievable, because I'm like, who other than me is going to pay that much for a mask at a Goodwill? Apparently at least 2 other people, because they were gone, and I looked in every nook and cranny of that store. And they definitely just like keep getting more stuff. Like, I don't know who their connections are, but they have so much dead stock stuff that's like brand new with tags. So definitely check out your local thrift stores. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Check out the small businesses and the gift stores and all these different places, because you never know what kind of goodies you're going to be able to find, and especially in more sustainable ways than a lot of these big box stores that are just overproducing and copying each other and stealing artwork. That's been a big thing. Like, Michael's is literally stealing artwork for a lot of their collections. I mean, most of the big box stores definitely steal designs, but Michael's is being very blatant about it this year. So definitely check out some of the alternative options to make your purchasing habits a little bit more sustainable this holiday season. But that being said, I did make a few purchases from box stores, specifically Spirit Halloween. I did get this gorgeous LED Killer Clowns from Outer Space blaster sign. I saw it online, and like, somebody had done a reel of all the different like fake neon signs that Spirit Halloween had, and this was by far the best one that they had. And I'm gonna be so real, I was having a bad day, so I was literally just like, I'm gonna fucking drive the hour to my nearest Spirit Halloween because I want the stupid fucking sign and just the fun Halloween vibes. So I did. They also, when I was there, had a couple of the Glen dolls from Chucky. They had the Seed of Chucky Glen doll that I have wanted for years and have literally never seen in person at any of my local Spirit Halloweens. So when I had gotten the Killer Clowns sign, they actually had 2 of the Glen dolls in store, and I was like, holy shit, I don't want to spend that much money in one day. So I was like, I'm not gonna buy them, but then I literally couldn't stop thinking about it, so I drove back down the next day. It also, okay, in my defense, I was also in a depressive episode, so any little serotonin boost I needed. Definitely not the most healthy coping mechanism, but hey, I'm still here. So we'll call it a win. Because, well, literally I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, the next time I go, they're not gonna have, like, he's gonna sell out. So I drove down, and it's a good thing that I did, because literally one of the 2 that they had already sold earlier that day, so he was the only one left in the store, and I got my hands on him. But that concludes our Halloween Hunting 2024 season. But I hope you guys have a fantastic spooky season and Halloween, and I will catch y'all next time.